Alright, how you guys doing today? This is Mr. Muscarella coming at you, and for this lesson, we're going to check out graphing circles from general form. First thing you got to do is actually know what the general form is for circles. So here it is. Ax squared plus by squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0. So that's the general form for the circle. A little bit different than standard form, and if you need to review that, be sure to check out my video on how to graph circles from general form. But here's a pattern. I want you to see if you can determine the relationship between the c term, the d term, and the coordinates for the center of the circle. So what I want you to do is go ahead and hit pause, analyze this chart, and then come on back when you think you got it, and let's check it out and see how you did. So let's see. If you notice that negative 1/2 times the c term gives you the x coordinate, I'm just going to abbreviate that x coordinate, and the same thing, negative 1/2 times whatever the d term is, that's going to give you the y coordinate. Give yourself a pat on the back, you rock star, because you got that correct. Good for you. So that's what you want to analyze when you've got the general form of a circle, because that'll give us a very, very important thing, and that is going to be the center of the circle. And that's one of the two things that we need when we go to graph the equation for a circle. Now the other thing we need is going to be the length of the radius. So we can use negative 1/2 times the c, negative 1/2 times the d. That will give us our center, and then we can find the length of the radius. This is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt. I'm going to have to use completing the square on this, but no big deal. You guys got this. So let's check out our first example here. We're going to graph this equation. Now what I want you to do first is take a look. Remember that c and d, we're going to go ahead and see if we can figure out what the coordinates are for my circle. So remember, c is negative 4, d is 10. So when we analyze that, that tells me that my center, I'm thinking, my center is going to be 2, negative 5. So I go to 2, go down to negative 5, and I'll put a nice dot right there. So that's going to be my center of the circle. That's what I'm thinking so far. All right, now what I want to take a look at next is completing the square. Now when you go to complete the square, you're going to kind of work on several things. The first thing that we're going to do is regroup what's on the left, and we're going to move something on the left. We're going to regroup the variables so that I group my x's together and I group my y's together. My constant, which in this case is the 20, we're going to move that to the other side, to the right hand side. So when we do all of that, that's going to look like this. All right, hopefully that's not a big stretch for you. Just regroup and move. So regroup and move, boom, that's what we got. Now here comes the challenging part. We're going to complete the square. So first I want you to look at the linear term for the x, which is negative 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to take half of that, and then we're going to square it. So we're going to take half of negative 4 and then square it. Half of negative 4 is negative 2. When we square negative 2, we get positive 4. Now similarly, we're going to do the same thing for the linear term in the y squared plus 10y part. Now the linear term there is 10. So same idea, we're going to take half of 10, which is just 5. When we take half of 10, we're going to square that. 5 squared is 25. Now what we're going to do with those two numbers, 4 and 25, because we're going to rewrite the equation we got, and we're going to add those numbers to both sides. So we're going to have x squared minus 4x plus 4 plus y squared plus 10y plus 25 equals our negative 20, and then our plus 4 and plus 25. So we're going to add those to both sides. Now what that allows us to do is rewrite the x part and the y part, rewrite each one of those trinomials as the following. So now let's check this out. Let's analyze, make sure what we got before for our center kind of jives with what we've got now. So if we take a look at this, we've got our center at 2, -5, which matches with what I did from analyzing my C term and D terms. Now the radius, so I just take a look at the 9, and I've got to square root that to come up with the value of my radius. So when you square root 9, you end up with 3. So from where my radius is going to move north, south, east, and west, from my center, I'm going to go 3 to the north, 1, 2, 3, put a dot there, 3 to the right side, 1, 2, 3, 3 below, 3 south, so 1, 2, 3 down, and then 1, 2, 3 to the left. So once I've got all of that, I've got my 4 points. Now what I'm going to do is do the best job I can to kind of create a picture that somewhat resembles a circle, but probably not very good. So that's what my graph would look like for the equation x squared plus y squared minus 4x plus 10y minus or plus 20 equals 0. So that's what we'd have to do to come up with that picture. That's a lot of stuff. Analyze your C and D terms, come up with your radius or your center, and then use completing the square to come up with the radius. Once I've got those two pieces, boom, it's just plot and go. Now I want to give you one other example to try out on your own. And that's going to be this example right here. So go ahead, hit pause, and then when you're ready, come on back and see if you graph this correctly. Alright, how'd you guys do with this? I'm sure that you got it. Just take your time, make sure you do your arithmetic correctly, and that you don't rush because there's so many little places you can make a mistake. Alright, that's it for this video. I'm sure you got the correct center, the correct radius, and the correct equation in standard form from our general form to help us graph that. Now I'll catch up with you guys later on. If you made a mistake on this, just take your time and rework it to make sure that you don't make that same mistake you previously made. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys later on. Peace out, yo.